Well, Greer has been listed as a potential cut candidate for the Cowboys ahead of training camp. The Dallas Cowboys are entering the 2025 campaign hoping for a cleaner bill of health, as they saw their 2024 season fall apart thanks in large part to their star quarterback Dak Prescott suffering a season-ending hamstring injury in Week 9. The front office has done well to bring in an assortment of talented players this offseason, and the coaching staff will work on cutting that group down to 53 players once training camp rolls around. One spot that could have an intriguing battle is the quarterback position. While Prescott is undoubtedly the starter, Joe Milton III and Will Greer are battling behind him for the backup job. With that in mind, it's unlikely both of them will make the team's initial roster, leading to one of these two passers being named a potential cut candidate ahead of training camp. Will Greer floated as potential Cowboys cut candidate. Milton and Greer have both taken different paths to get to their current spot with the Cowboys. Milton was selected in the sixth round of the 2024 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots, and he shined during his only action as a rookie, playing in Week 18 against the Buffalo Bills backups in what was a meaningless game for both sides. Milton completed 22 of his 29 pass attempts for 241 yards and a touchdown while also rushing for 16 yards and another score. After losing Cooper Rush in free agency to the Baltimore Ravens, the Cowboys opted to swing a deal with the Patriots for Milton, sending a fifth-round pick to New England in exchange for the power-armed passer and a seventh-round pick. Considering the investment the team made in him and his strong showing in the 2024 finale for the Patriots, that seemingly gives him the inside track to win the backup job. Greer, on the other hand, was a third-round pick in the 2019 NFL Draft by the Carolina Panthers, but he's never managed to find a consistent home in the league. This is his second stint with the Cowboys, as he spent time with them from 2021 to 2023, so he has familiarity with the team. However, given his lack of consistency and the team's investment in Milton, Randy Gertze of Sports Illustrated recently listed him as a potential cut candidate. Greer might not be fighting with another quarterback, but he could still be on the chopping block if Dallas decides to go with two quarterbacks, Gertze wrote. They'll ideally want to keep him on the practice squad, but for that to happen, he first must be let go, which opens the door for another team to sign him away. Could Cowboys cut Will Greer? As Gertze noted, the ideal scenario for the Cowboys would see them cut Greer and stash him on their practice squad as an insurance policy behind Prescott and Milton. While he has experience, he's not exactly a hot commodity, so Dallas should have a decent shot at being able to sneak him onto their practice squad should they release him. Of course, these things are subject to change at any time, as Greer could star during training camp, Milton could struggle, or someone could get injured. Anything can happen, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't exactly be a surprise if Greer gets released before the start of the 2025 campaign. Owen Crisafulli is a breaking news writer at Heavy. In addition to writing for Heavy, Owen serves as the lead NFL editor at Clutch Points while also working as a content producer for More Views Media. His work has also appeared on The Sporting News, Athlon Sports, Basketball Network, and Fansided, where he shared his insights on a variety of sports topics primarily surrounding the NFL, NBA, and MLB. More about Owen Crisafulli. Expectations aren't so high for the Cowboys as they enter the first year of Brian Schottenheimer's run as head coach. That might be for the best, as this team is primed to surprise people with how good they are. Even so, here are 3 reasons the Cowboys won't be able to win the NFC East in 2025. Brian Schottenheimer isn't ready for so much responsibility. Being a head coach is hard. Being an offensive play caller is also hard. Doing both at the same time? Well, it isn't easy. Brian Schottenheimer is acing all the offseason tests, having built an impressive staff and clearly crushing the vibes check every chance he gets. Still, he's taking over a team that perpetually has Super Bowl aspirations and perpetually falls well short of that. He's never been a head coach before and hasn't been a full-time play caller since the 2020 season in Seattle. He's not completely inexperienced, but this is objectively the toughest challenge Schottenheimer has faced thus far in his career. How does he handle all these new responsibilities being thrust upon him? More importantly, how does he react when things don't go his way? Whether it's losing a tough game or being overruled on something by his infamously meddlesome owner/general manager. Nobody knows the answers to those questions yet, not even Schottenheimer, and the growing pains could cost Dallas, even if they manage to return to the playoffs this year. Too many questions on defense. Matt Eberflus is the new defensive coordinator, and while he has a strong track record, there are also legitimate questions about how he'll improve this defense. His plans for a unique talent like Micah Parsons are just the tip of the iceberg. Who starts at cornerback? Trayvon Diggs and Siobhan Revel Jr. are both rehabbing serious injuries. Kyer Elam was given up on in Buffalo, and Kalen Carson struggled as a rookie. And how good are they? Who fills the DeMarvion Overshown-shaped void at linebacker? And the age-old question of the run defense, where Motzie Smith seems to be the primary only answer on the defensive line for early rundowns. Eberflus has rarely fielded bad defenses, but if it takes him a few weeks to figure out the answers to all these questions, it might put Dallas in a hole. A brutal final stretch on the schedule. November brings a really tough stretch on the Cowboys' schedule. They host the Eagles and Chiefs, the two teams to reach the Super Bowl last year, over a span of 4 days. That is then followed up with a road trip to Detroit, home games against the Vikings and Chargers, and then a road trip to face the Commanders. That's 6 games against playoff teams from a year ago, 3 of whom reached their conference's championship game, all towards the end of the season. Unless one of those teams goes through a sharp regression this year, it's likely that Dallas will be the underdog for all 6 of those games. Star pass rusher Micah Parsons raised some eyebrows when he recently told Clarence Hill Jr. of DLLS Sports that the Dallas Cowboys waiting to give Parsons a contract extension to his liking is going to cost them more in the long run. Myles Garret of the Cleveland Browns reset the market for sack specialists when he signed a 4-year, $160 million extension that included $123.5 million guaranteed earlier this offseason after he made it known in February he wanted to be traded. On Sunday, Garret spoke with Abby Jones of DLLS about Parsons' contract saga that continued into the Cowboys' summer break. "I think he deserves whatever he's earned," Garret said, as shared by Kevin Patra of the NFL's website. "I mean, the guy is special. Once I got the chance to train with him, I've seen his work ethic, I've seen how he attacks the weights, running. He's 100% committed to his craft and getting better every day, and he's someone who produces on the field and has that dedication to the game. He should get every penny he's owed." Parsons is in the final year of his rookie contract, but nevertheless attended Dallas' mandatory minicamp, even though there's no sign the two parties are close to finalizing any agreement. Per The Athletic, Parsons indicated that he could hold in and participate only in individual drills during training camp if he doesn't sign an extension before those practice sessions begin. Unlike Parsons, TJ Watt stayed away from the Pittsburgh Steelers through their mandatory minicamp that wrapped up on June 12th amid his desire for an extension that will include a pay raise. Watt reportedly is serious about being at the top of the market, which suggests his expected deal could increase the value of Parsons' extension depending on when the contracts are signed. Last year, Dallas didn't sign wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and quarterback Dak Prescott to lucrative extensions until late in the summer. News about Prescott's deal only broke hours before the Cowboys opened their 2024 season with a matchup at the Cleveland Browns. One would think first-year Dallas head coach Brian Schottenheimer would want team owner and general manager Jerry Jones to lock Parsons down via an extension before training camp gets underway. Jones clearly isn't eager to trade Parsons, but it remains to be seen if the 26-year-old will do his employer any favors in contract negotiations over the next month or so.